Coach, a tough 100-69 loss tonight in the GLIAC semifinal. Could we start with an opening statement from you?
It's a tough night. You know, my hat's off to Ashland. Not sure I've been a part of a game in 25 years of coaching and 4 years of playing where your opponent goes 21 of 29 from the three-point line. So I guess, you know, first of all, I'd like to congratulate Ashland. I'm not sure that they can play much better than they played tonight, and that's where you want to be at this time of year. So, you know, they had some guys that aren't normally three-point shooters, you know, that were dropping threes. I think they probably had three of their guys that are normally, you know, end of shot clock three-point shooters that make, you know, 4, 4, 4, 3. That's what you got to do in the postseason, and they did it. And with that being said, I think the first 4 minutes of this game really dictated the terms of this game. They came out with fire and energy, and you know, we kind of were back on our heels. I felt like we weren't really ready to compete at the level you need to compete at against a team that really had to have this game. Maybe we did. I mean, but we didn't play like it, and I take responsibility for that because that's my job, to make sure that our team's ready to play and compete at a high level, and we weren't. And I felt like we never regained what we lost in the first 4 minutes of the game.
But in that kind of span of time when Ashland was starting to make its threes, what did you notice about the way they were making the threes with ball movement, kicking it around, and contested a few, some were second chance, just kind of the nature of some of the threes that they made?
Well, they have some players that are really good off the dribble, and of course they run like a dribble drive offense. They're very good at it. You know, but normally they have a few guys that you can help off of and get some help and play them a little soft so you can contain their drive. But when they're making threes like they were by some of those guys that you normally help off of, it forces you to spread your defense out. And consequently, the more you spread out on defense, the bigger the gaps are to drive, which is the wrong way to play against a dribble drive. But when you shoot the ball the way they did, that tends to happen. And so, like I said, I give them a lot of credit. They took advantage of the shots they got, and their guys stepped up with confidence and knocked them down. And you know, they did what they needed to do and did what they had to do and did it at a very high level, and we never really had an answer for it all night.
And in that span, the first 5-6 minutes, your guys were hitting kind of 50% from the field as well, and I know deficit management shot selection kind of changes as the deficit grows, but what did you see? It seemed like some shots were kind of early in the shot clock, and did you feel like you were happy with the rhythm at first? And I know it changes as threes start to go down.
Well, it's been a long time since we've been in a deficit like that against a team as hot as they were. You know, and sometimes your team's not really sure how to react to that. And obviously the way we reacted was not the right way, because the lead went from 10 to 20 really quick. And it wasn't just our defense at that point. It became a combination of our offense and our defense. Our offense, we weren't cutting and moving. We weren't executing our offense like we needed to, and we were trying to, you know, to answer their threes, which came after 4, 5, 6 passes with one pass and a three. And so the lead grew awfully quick. Our guys weren't used to that situation, and you know, that's our Achilles heel, if we've had one this year, has been, you know, maybe taking too many quick shots, too many quick threes, and relying on the three-point ball too much. You know, but that's what happens when you shoot the ball well. You know, you tend to fall in love with it a little bit, and some nights it works for you. Obviously, it worked for Ashland really well tonight. But you know, tonight was a night where, you know, we tried to answer the deficit too soon, and we paid the price.
I've got a few more questions if you got something. Go ahead. When you're coming out of the locker room down 23 at halftime, what is kind of the philosophy for deficit management? And when those first 5 minutes of the second half are so crucial, Taryn scored a couple of times to start the second half, but Ashland answered right like that, and it seemed like the spark was for any run was kind of going.
Yeah, we just wanted to keep our motor level high. I mean, and so we had to press. We felt like to keep our energy level at the level that it needed to be at, we needed to press. And I wasn't sure we could force turnovers, but I thought we could get our energy going and maybe get the tempo going and maybe find some open court opportunities. Just get some momentum somehow. And that's a scary thought because they play a 3-guard lineup and they're pretty quick. And they put some shooters around those guys. So, but I'm not sure we had a choice. You know, sometimes you try to identify with your opponent who the motor is. And maybe if we take away the motor, you know, maybe we can affect this pace that they're playing at. And really, you could pick your poison tonight on who their motor was, but probably on most nights it's Adrian Cook. You know, and he played awfully well. He finishes around the rim. And tonight he complemented that by going 4 or 5 from the three-point line. You know, and then this is a kid who's taken maybe 28 threes the whole season. You know, so, but that's kind of the team we faced tonight. And, you know, so to answer your question at halftime, really we had to hope that Ashland started the second half the way we started the game.
Okay. And
And they didn't. You know, they understood they couldn't afford to do that. They know that we can catch up in a hurry because we've done it before. So give them credit. They didn't, you know, give in mentally and start to slow down and start to play non-aggressive. They just kept playing the way they did in the first half, and you know that was really our only hope, I think, at halftime.
one final question. There's 24 hours between now and Selection Sunday. It's a lot of time, and this loss is not too much indicative of the regular season. What's going to be going through your head for the next 24 hours? And you know, anything can kind of happen on Selection Sunday.
You know, the last time we were left out of this tournament, the NCAA tournament, it was following a semifinal tournament loss here. And I don't remember the year. I think it was 2009-10 season. It was the year after we won the national. It was one of those years in there. And we lost a game to Wayne State in the semifinals and found out the next day on the way home that we weren't going to be in the NCAA tournament. So hopefully history doesn't repeat itself. With that being said, you know, if we're not in it, it would be a real shame. Because if you look at the whole body of work, you know, tonight notwithstanding, I think we're capable of beating any team in the region. Now, there's a lot of other teams that could say that, but I definitely think our conference, the respect of our conference, isn't what it should be. And I don't quite understand that, because if you look at a lot of the crossover games this year, I think our conference has flexed their muscle. So, you know, I hope for our players' sake, we're in the NCAA tournament. But because of our performance today, we've left it up to the committee. And hopefully what we've done over the course of the season was good enough. But, you know, now we'll have to wait for that phone call.
That's all.